What do you do when plans fail? How do you pivot? When you plan to meal prep and an important ingredient turns out to be bad, you know what I always say, use what you have. That is exactly what happened today. I had 24 eggs that I found to not be edible, which is sad because they're over $7 a dozen. That was part of the meal prep, a large part. I looked to see what else I had on hand and pivoted and made something else. No trip to the store, no money spent. I'm thankful I had ingredients on hand I could use. That changed the entire video today. I could have just made a trip to the store, gotten takeout for the week, or ordered in. Instead, I made it work. It wasn't necessarily what I wanted to have or what I wanted to eat this week, but will certainly be delicious, and I'm thankful to the Lord for his provision. So, grab a drink, pull up a chair, and let's prep some food. So you can see that there are 2 pounds of ground beef in the skillet. I'm going to let the skillet heat up and get started on the eggs. Okay, Vital Farms. Bell peppers and onions and spinach in with the ground beef. Smelling pretty good in here, and I only seasoned with salt and pepper. I may go ahead and add a little onion or garlic powder. We'll just have to see what it tastes like when it gets finished, when it finishes cooking. Smelling pretty good in here. Now I have to decide what to do since the eggs are a no-go. So I did have a little bit of bell pepper and onions left, and it was about 1/4 of a cup, so I went ahead and added them in. So that's 2 1/4 cup of onions and bell peppers, and probably 1.5 cups of spinach. So I decided we're just going to pivot. There's no use in getting upset, and we're going to make this a Mexican dish instead. So I'm putting in 1 can of basically rotel. This one's going to be a little spicy. I also decided that we're going to put in some corn and some black beans that I canned in 2022. And we're just going to pivot, and it's going to be delicious. It won't be quite the meal I thought we were going to be preparing, but this is why we make sure that we have a few extra things on the shelf, just so we can pivot and, you know, adjust, and it's going to be delicious. Okay, corn is in, black beans are in. We're going to give it a little stir and get everything well combined. Try not to make too big of a mess. I've already made one. It's all right. Okay, this is what it's looking like. Some of the liquid has cooked down. I'm glad there's a little bit left in there, because I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and put in some of my favorite spicy taco seasoning by Siete. Delicious taco seasoning in. And break that up just a little bit. It's kind of hard, but it's probably my fault because I had it packed in there so tight in the bin when I keep it. All right, we're going to get that combined really well and let it cook and season everything really well. Let the flavors combine, and we will be back. So things don't always go to plan. The eggs were bad. They were disgusting. I'll do a separate video on that, but we had to pivot, so we made this into a Mexican bowl instead. Not as high protein as I had wanted, so I will have to make some hamburger patties to fill in the gap, which is fine. It is disappointing because those eggs are $7+ a dozen, so that's a minimum of $15 wasted. But what can you do? I will be looking for a new egg company, brand of eggs. If this continues, I won't be eating eggs anymore. So this is what we ended up with. It's actually quite good. And we'll do a quick taste test. So, make it a good bite. It's quite hot. It is very good. Again, not quite what I anticipated having for this week, but we pivoted, we used what we had, and it's delicious. So it's still a win. And there are my 4 hamburger patties, seasoned with salt. Once I cook that side, I will season the other side with salt, pepper, and a little garlic powder. Hamburger patties turned out really good. It's just meat formed into patties with salt and pepper. This week's meal prep turned out, even though we had to pivot and make a change last minute, we made do. And didn't cost me anything extra to do it. I didn't have to go to the store, which I couldn't today because today's Thanksgiving. But it's okay. So thank you for joining me for Meal Prep Monday, even though it didn't go to plan. It just goes to show that everything doesn't always go to plan and that you can pivot and change it and make do with what you have. So God bless you and keep you, and I will see you on the next Meal Prep Monday.